Hello everyone, and welcome to Tormenture, a puzzle horror game with a retro aesthetic in which we play as a child in the 80s, awake in the middle of the night playing video games in his room. I am so excited to try this out because not only is it a bit of, I suppose you could call it analog horror, but it's also got that sort of meta level of separation. The glow from that CRT screen casting over these familiar walls, and I don't know, that also provides a lot of opportunities for horror. Because even as we're looking at that, even as that child is looking at the game, we're looking at his world, and it kind of makes me want to turn around into the dark of my room and see what's there now. Big thank you to the developers for providing me with this pre-release demo key, and I can't wait to try it out.
Another case of a missing child in the town of St.
And even as we finish our menu screen, we find ourselves on an in-universe one. And here we are. We can see the scan lines and the curvature of that CRT. And we can actually see it has very Legend of Zelda-esque graphics almost, although actually even a bit less than that. We're still a little early for that. In fact, our player character is just a yellow little square. And we'll have to find a key to get through this door, I guess. Okay, now, if I remember games like this, those two things to the left and right are barriers, potentially teleports to other places, and this in here may be a power-up of some kind? Ah, I see. We go through there, and it removes those shield barriers. All right. Oh, you're teleporting around. Oh! I was a little nervous at first when I saw you disappear, but it got even worse when I realized you're an active threat. What are you? See, this is part of the reason why 80s games can be seen as so creepy in retrospect. There's a lot left to the imagination. You look at some of these entities and you're thinking, what is that even supposed to be? Where is my ring? Okay, now thankfully we have subtitles, but with that compressed audio to the point of unrecognition, we can't understand what you're saying and we can barely read it. Okay, and no matter any time we go back there, you'll come back for us, so I guess we have to bring you a ring? Okay, which way are you gonna go? Oh, you can go right through, but you didn't seem to do anything. I can't tell if you were actually touching me right there. Luckily, you won't follow me back to here. Oh my god! Of course, things like that probably would scare the crap out of me at the time. Okay. We're going to have to run inside! Okay, no, we can't. So is there any way we can neutralize you? There's guys running around, and one of them has something in his hand. So can we do anything? I assume you guys are just gonna kill me. And it doesn't seem like you have any sort of AI either. Very realistically, you just kind of patrol around in fixed increments. If we could get at that... Ah, we can use you to turn it off for ourselves, okay? Now we've got that key in our inventory. Yep, there we go. But yeah, as I was saying, I think a big part of what would make this game creepy, or games like this creepy, is going to differ depending on your perspectives and how you first experience them. For example, if you played them at the time, you'll be scared by stuff like that. Ah, a hand is coming for me. Or maybe you'll just remember the experience of playing it, the glow from the screen casting over the room, you know? Being up late into the night and feeling like you were doing something you weren't supposed to. But then, when you experience it in retrospect, right? Or, I guess perhaps, if you're just coming to it for the first time, when you're used to things with much more graphical fidelity, maybe you'll see it for the emptiness. Uh-oh, I'm starting to not be in great shape. Come on, go. Ah, that wasn't the key for this? I'm dead. Okay, but we can just restart, and everything seems to be in place as we left it. This goes here. And what are... Ooh, some kind of weapon, maybe? Can we perhaps wield it in some way? Ah, yeah, now we can use these to damage you. Oh, and maybe when you're staggered like that, you'll get out of the way. Okay, so we gotta... Nope. Do we have to turn you guys off somehow? Seems like we can't actually do it. I mean, we're used to these, like, highly complex, like, cinematic experiences. If we leave you there, that'll be fine, and we can touch you. But if we try to bring you out... Okay, now you're good. But it actually matters which side of us you are on. Oh, wait, no, Okay, for a second I couldn't pick you up. Maybe we can use this against the Gray Man? Well, we can definitely use it against these things and allow us to get that key. So... Yep, there we go. But we're used to these, like, very complex, like, full-on narrative, like, voice-acted, crazy graphics experiences. And so, when you're used to that and come and see this, you kind of think of your parents as, like, crazy people, you know? Like, they were sitting there just, like, staring at these rough shapes and considering that a whole experience, getting lost in these worlds that rely so much on imagination. And those same parents might come back and think, oh wow, I really was just like staring at pixels. What was I thinking? But in any case, we'll put that on the top of us because that's where the thing is. Oh no, I went the wrong way. Although I wonder if I can fight you guys using the sword. The point is, these things, you know, now that they are associated with memories, either memories of other people or memories of ourselves, well, we kind of look at them either from the perspective of those who would have... it's a boss fight. It doesn't make you wonder if there was, at one point, something more to it, or maybe if that thing that made you see it as so magical might still be there. Okay, you're not dying to this at all. What do I do about you? Oh, no, I can actually hit you. It's just very finagly. Believe it or not, I'm actually finding this, like, for all its simplicity, I'm actually finding this, as I found these games at the time, hard to play. Like, or at least I'm having a hard time talking and playing. This is actually properly kind of hard. Oh, it's a phase boss fight, but that backfired on you. Okay, you jumping in and out may actually be to my benefit. Ow. Please spend more time dying. Wait, you are too... I can't read that well. It's cracking the screen! What?! That looked like a face. Well, TV's busted, and we are snapped back to reality. That's my shadow. That's my shadow. There's my nightlight. Ooh, we can open the drawers in our environment, play with the toys. Oh, this is so cool. It's like a fully immersive 80s room. Why are your eyes glowing? Did they do that? I had one of these. I don't think the eyes glue. It may not be cracked, but the TV is surely busted. Macromania. And that drawer is stuck. And that one, I guess, is going to require a key. We can grab our darts and toss them somewhere. Wait, can we hit the poster? Not well. Okay, so what am I doing then? Am I supposed to be looking at the crack in the door that's suddenly opened? I can grab... Oh, is that the remote? Wait. Oh, no batteries. Okay, so I guess we're... Oh, Tormenture, game program instructions. Yep. There's the cover art. The cover art always essentially fed you the information you were supposed to be applying yourself. We actually use the arrow keys. We use the arrow keys to flip through, which I actually really like, because that's sort of, I mean, it's sort of like you're actually flipping through the pages yourself then. Oh. It's actually sparking in the slot. Okay, power off. There it is. And we've got to blow inside the cartridge. Actually, if we look at the cartridge, it looked like the faces on the cover art were scratched out. I mean, I've done that for graphical glitches and such, but I've never done that for whatever was happening there. You're really not going to get up and close that door? God, that whole experience takes me back so much. And it's brilliant having it happen in a boss fight. Just when we're most invested in the game, it pulls some insane graphical glitches and we're snapped back looking around at the dark room we're sitting in. Because that's how it is. Like, anybody who's ever had that happen, where a game glitches out and just gets stuck endlessly repeating a loud noise over and over, knows how terrifying this is, especially as a kid. I'll be honest, I've been having a bit of a difficult time talking and playing in this video for some reason, so I'm going to try and slow myself down mentally with an anecdote. So, even though this stuff is a bit before my time, I do have a distinct memory of being like 7 or 8 years old and playing, it was Evil Dead Fistful of Boomstick, and there was this opening cutscene where Ash is in a bar telling his stories, and the Deadites start possessing everyone in town, and there's a moment where one flies through the window and possesses the bartender, and he falls below the counter, and there's an anticipating shot of the camera zooming in on the bar, and then he pops up to reveal his demon face. And just at that moment, the power went out, and I was left in pitch darkness. So the only thing you can do is get back in the game as quickly as possible to take your mind off of how scared you are now. And back into playing our knockoff Atari, press Control to keep playing Tormenture. And just like that, we're sucked back in, find the 4 hidden relics, and head north. Oh, huh. I guess it saved our progress. Which actually wouldn't have been a thing at the time. I mean, back then it was all password saves. I think Legend of Zelda was actually really unique in that the cartridge itself held a battery that could save your save on the cartridge, not even on the system. That looks kind of like a pair of lungs. Actually, you know what? No. Oh, that is so cool. We can actually pull our eyes away at any time. Let's have a look at that manual. Oh, we have it. Is there any way I can bring it up? Oh, look at that. There's no in-game map, so there we are on loose leaf, just drawing it out as we explore. Okay, I can already tell I love this game because of its absolute dedication, not just to the games themselves, but to what it was like to play those games. I was talking before about how these are different depending on the experience, how you experience them, and it's making it very clear what perspective we're meant to see it from. I still remember having my vast folders of cheat codes. Ooh, we've got Guess Who, blocks. We can hold our bear for comfort. Oh, I see. There's a bar in the top right. I couldn't see it because of my microphone. There we go. And it lights up the board as we go. Boom. And they are always returned to us. Ah, hit the wall. There we go. Yeah. I need a distraction from this, but okay, there is the manual, and I want to take more of a look at it before we take one step further. It's only now that I'm seeing just how creepy that creature is. Like, it's too disturbingly humanoid, you know? And those guys, presumably one of those is the player character in the maze, and yet this guy's body winds all through it. And that's not all, why is there just a random white rectangle in the middle of it? It's almost like some small detail is being, like, censored or something. Safety precautions. Use your joystick controller with the game program. Be sure the controller is firmly plugged into the left controller jack at the rear. Blah, 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 blah. For more enjoyment of the program, please read all instructions carefully before starting play. I will become the first person to do that, although I suppose we started at play. Don't play for... Wait, warning. Don't play for many consecutive hours, or you might start experiencing visions, night terrors, and other distortions of reality. I once again have to ask, are we really not going to get up and close that door? Because the crack in it is really bothering me. How to play. Ooh, context. An evil wizard has imprisoned magical creatures of the kingdom inside a mysterious dungeon. You, adventurer, are the bridge between the dungeon and their freedom. Collect the 4 relics and save the kingdom. To save them, you'll have to find the 4 hidden relics and open the door to the final labyrinth, where the source of evil lies. There are several areas in the dungeon, each with its own paths and challenges to overcome and test your skills. Okay, and then there's just controls. Wait, what just fell out? What just fell out? Ah, the receipt, Ultimate Express Video. Oh, it's just a rental. Due back, February 25th, 1982. This game's going for maximum nostalgia in every way possible. But let's read on. Let's read into what might as well be the Necronomicon. Or at least that's how it feels to this kid. Good magic. During your mission to find the treasures, you will encounter many hazards, but you will also find good magic on your side. Keys that allow you to open locked doors, a sword that you can use to hurt evil creatures, seeds that turn into plants by placing them into a plant hole to reach other areas, a shovel to turn plants back into seeds, a flute that awakens the creatures, bombs to destroy rock piles and set fire to plants, a torch to illuminate dark areas, set fire to plants, and ignite bombs. So it really is definitely showing its like Legend of Zelda early adventure game logic. A magnet to attract items that are out of reach or too heavy, a small dot that reduces your size and allows you to move through narrow gaps, or even between spikes. Now that's kind of funny that it doesn't have like something that it's pretending to be. It's literally just a small dot. A bridge that allows you to pass over any wall in the dungeon. After dropping the bridge, you can cross it to get to the other side. In addition to these items, you will find other elements that will also help you during your adventure. Buttons to deactivate barriers, levers to deactivate barriers. Oh, that's what that is. I honestly thought it was a pair of hanging lungs. Good thing we consulted the manual. And mirrors that reveal creatures and other invisible elements. I can remember sitting up in bed late at night with my little headlamp reading just game manuals because they didn't just tell you how to play the game or have like warranty and legal information. They also told you like lore and background information and like breakdowns of all different enemies. They were actually really fun to read. But mirrors that reveal creatures and other invisible elements. Magical gadgets that allow you to jump between dimensions. Clock-like structures that seem to heal your wounds and... Hello? Did something just happen while I wasn't looking? I definitely heard like a staticky noise, but it seems to be the same. Okay, well this is a lever that can get rid of barriers. There you go, and you can't be switched, you're done for good. Oh look, it's a whole hall of statues. I wonder if these things could jump off the podiums at some point and start chasing me. We've changed color. We're purple now. And that wizard looks like he can send me on a quest. Are you taking notes? Try pressing tab. I am. Oh, so this is a new area. We can actually flip back and forth. All right. There we go. And you know, as much as I definitely do like having games be a lot simpler in terms of quality of life, there is just something so quaint about actually having to write things down for myself. That's why I enjoyed the paint screen killing so much. When I was playing that game, solving the mystery, I actually had a whole binder full of notes. I did the same for Nancy Drew, A Message in a Haunted Mansion. Which reminds me, I gotta play another Nancy Drew game soon. Oh, that is weird. So that's a save point, and heals, I guess heals our status. We cannot enter that door. Maybe we'll have to find a key. Oh, this area is actually much more expansive. And oddly enough, we're actually seeing the environment kind of roll over the curves of the CRT. Which makes sense, but it has like a weird effect where it almost like feels like I'm turning over where I'm sitting. I'm also not sure, like, I know the limitations of these games are more than what you'd expect. The graphics look very Atari-ish, but I wonder if this music isn't a bit too complex. I hope this kid is taking notes, because with how much it's widening, I'm definitely gonna lose track of myself if I can't look down. Kind of funny how even as it's injecting modern, like, quality of life features into the meta game itself, we're still having to rely on a pen and paper in spirit. But it seems like the only other way we can go is down. Did that lever just move a bit as it came into view? Maybe the idea is that it's being washed downstream. Oh, we can't cross here, but it looks like there's maybe a troll waiting on the other side. So I guess we'll have to find a bridge of some sort. Give it back. Do you want it? I can set it... It is, I can set it adrift. Maybe if I put it here, it'll end up with you? A physics puzzle! But a very abstracted one, that's really cool. But you seem friendly. Welcome, traveler. It's very striking when the sound cuts out altogether. Somehow that wasn't any better, and we've changed color again. Now we're gray, but we're always flashing. Say cheese. No. Something about that just made me think that we'd, like, see a flash across the room and somebody scamper out of view in our window. Oh god, I'm just aware of all the directions something could peek at us from. Ooh, wait, what time is it? It's 10 to midnight. We're probably not supposed to be up. February 25th, I wonder if that was a school day. I'm too lazy to alt-tab out and find out if it would have been. Macromania. A receipt fell out of that. Oh no, not a receipt. Experts on Video Games, Potential Dangers to Your Youth, by Larry Oldman. From toys to instruments of control, the debate on the influence of video games in our children is more heated than ever. The safety authority Thomas Jackson believes home consoles have something to do with the recent disappearances of children across the country. From a behavioral standpoint, the device is a bad influence on our children, and thus our society. The promise of most products is to escape. To leave the real world to enter a new imaginary one. In the process, the child loses their ability to discern between the two. The expert adds, games leave the mind in a suggestive magic circle where there's no formal difference between play and ritual. As historian Johann Huizinga puts it, this phenomenon is, quote, usually used as an occult tool that opens up young people to influence on them on topics such as murder, sadism, or demonology, says Thomas. So that's kind of funny. Like, with throwing in the occult, it's not only sort of reflecting attitudes of the time about new media, of movies and video games, but also about, like, the satanic panic. both very representative of the era in which this takes place. Not to mention the slightly later reference to Jack Thompson. Maybe we should have more of a look at this manual. The evil wizard has prepared different challenges to prevent you from escaping the dungeon. Evil creatures of all kinds that attack you at first sight. Barriers that hinder your progress. Spikes and spiky blocks that hurt you upon contact with them. We saw some of those before. Put it down. I just heard something, like something falling over. Okay, let's read on a little bit more. I want to be prepared when things show up, and I feel like it'll really punish me for not reading the manual. Ivies that cannot be crossed, but can be removed with a torch, bomb blast, or other sources of fire. Oil that burns when it comes into contact with a torch, bomb blast, or other sources of fire. This is actually pretty complex for the time. Something like this would be a hit. And it's 3 years before Legend of Zelda? Magic can be good or bad, depending on the situation. Boxes can sometimes block your way, but you can push them in one direction. Magnetic blocks that can only be moved with a magnet. Rivers can block your path and drag items with the current. Oh, we've got our own notes in here. The frog hides something in the forest. Stop playing. Now, this is something we gotta look at here, the team behind Tormenture, because, I don't know, those older games, they're so abstracted from reality that they almost have this otherworldly feel to them. They feel like they couldn't have been made by humans. To me, that persists all the way up until the PS1 era. Art is eternal. Paul Astrapel Moore, creative director. Sometimes the code seems to come alive. Lewis Walterson, programmer. Listen to the hidden tune. Al Bernstein, musician. Mazes are like life. You have to find your own way. Charles Raymond, the designer. And everything is up for reinterpretation. Even yourself. Alex Baker, artist. You guys are definitely not inspiring confidence in the whole we are not trying to influence children through occult practices. But let's save and say cheese. Who are you? This seems kinda out of place with everything else that's going on, and this down here... It could just be patterns on the ground, but to me it looks sorta like the almost face we saw in Red earlier. Rusted things belong here. I don't mind me, just the weepy-faced white figure standing beside a well while somber music plays. In fact, this entire area is empty and gray. Woof woof. Hi, doggy. And a lone door standing off in a field. We go through here, it sort of looked like the fence was open. That music is creeping me out. Maybe we need to find something to open that door? I'm sorry, when did I start playing Faith? Okay, I guess we'll have to come back to the big, scary, abandoned red mansion later. See, the thing is, when you are so limited in terms of what you can do graphically and musically, you have to use every little bit of what's at your disposal to tell your story. In this case, the mansion is so huge and imposing on our screen, the music cuts out just as we arrive. And it's like this big, bright colored figure after we've gotten used to the monochrome. You can even utilize other things that seem out of place to get a different point across. It's so quiet here. Yeah, you may be dancing away to the disco, but the music doesn't seem to fit. And here's another one of those faces. You don't look friendly. You're like a gargoyle or something gnawing on a key, maybe? We can run through that archway. You won't attack me on sight, but I get the impression you're dangerous. Ah, here we can enter a bar. Good to see someone around. I'm tired. Are you lifting weights, or is that a keg? I'm sorry, like, this music is making me feel like I'm actually this kid sitting in the room. Imagine coming into this from the perspective of this kid, and expecting this, like, whimsical, magical adventure. And then it hits you with this, like, somber, creepy music. Not only is it a total whiplash from what you expected, a total whiplash from what you were experiencing only moments ago in this same game. The kind of thing that makes you feel like there must be something wrong with the game, and it makes you so much more reflective as to take you out of the illusion a little bit. What is that red? Well, whatever it is, I can walk through it. Excuse me, sir, who are you? And I see a glint of yellow on the other side of the room. Bring me the parts. Oh, can you maybe fix something up for me? Well, we've got something phallic shaped. There you go, I guess that's one of the parts. Are you oh my god, are you supposed to be two headless figures? Tossing the same head back and forth, unsure of how to share it? Should I try and talk to you? That game is awesome, and you speak in unison. But because this game engine, if you can even call it an engine, it's not able to do, like, proper voices. And so it's just noises that, again, in like a really weird way, they have to make it make sense. It has to be intuitive while being nothing like what you're trying to convey. Creepy abandoned church that they're doing this outside of? And maybe we really are playing Faith. Well, we've got the cross, and we're getting stuck in the pews. You've got nothing else to say. Maybe this counts as a part? No, but we could... Oh, maybe... Wait. We may have to explore around a little bit more, but maybe we could use that as a key in the big red house? Now we're already starting to try the adventure game logic of try everything on everything. Maybe we want to have this with us when we come to the house. Maybe that could be a thing. Let's just start leaving objects here, will you? Okay, you'll stay there, you're persistent. And here's the graveyard. And that grave is behaving strangely. But we can't interact with it at all. Let's have a look at our map. Okay, there we are. Apparently we found an Easter egg at some point, although I'm not quite sure what that would have been. And you know, a weird thing is happening. I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to see this in the way a game like this would want you to see it. Because I was looking at that graveyard and it's like, that and listening to the music, it's like I was picturing a fully 3D graveyard. I knew what it wanted me to see. The eternal task. I need to find some way to get it from you, don't I? But that's your lot, to just keep playing that animation over and over. You don't know why, you don't know what you're trying to accomplish. You just know you have to do it. Rusted things belong here. We go here, so this is just a loop. Maybe we can do something with the cross and you guys? Can't toss it down the well. Can't show it to you. Alright, I'm missing something, but I'm gonna take a save. Right here. Only one half in here. What do you mean? Also, your horse over there is looking a little strange, not gonna lie, buddy. The half that feels. The half that feels is the other half, the half that thinks. We can enter this area, this cutout, but we can't actually go to a different environment. So what do we do then? Was there more to potentially be seen up here? There was more. In fact, there's a lot more up this way. But I'm not entirely sure if we can do anything with this yet. There's you again, okay. And 2 levers, which we cannot get to from here. Maybe we can find something, a way to cross over and do that. But the Gray Man actually brings up a very interesting thing. So many of these old games have like that one enemy where everybody who talks about this game in the future looks back like, hey, what was up with that? Didn't that seem so out of place and disturbing? That's the impression that I get it's trying to replicate here. Like, it's something that... Actually, wait, I should check the manual. I keep mixing up tab and control, but I should find out if there's any information on this Gray Man. Although I sort of doubt it. I mean, it does just say evil creatures of all kinds, so maybe it's covered under that. You know, no, that was actually all. It's got the labels of the video store we got it from and anything. Okay, so eventually this will end up back here. I was looking for this thing. Maybe we need to use it... Maybe we could use it on the grave? Oh, we did. Oh, and that's considered an Easter egg, though. It doesn't actually move us forward. But that's really, really cool. We just completed a side quest. The radio just randomly came on, or... Do you function as a radio, or are you just a cassette player? I'm not sure. Wait, say cheese. It doesn't look like I can actually interact with the camera, but maybe that does have something to do with it? Anyway, where was the guy who said that? That was... No, but maybe we'll keep that in mind. Because just because we can't do something now doesn't mean that we can't at any point. I think the only way is going to be to explore further up here. We saw you. You need to juke around up through here. I always dread that you're following me. And from here, we can pull those levers and render that area safe for us. Oh, I see. I bet this is where we're supposed to bring those 4 artifacts. And doing so will open this door. So up here is really our ultimate goal. But there is still one unexplored area. And that's going to be if we go up and around, past the Goblin Men, and into here with all the hands that want to reach out and grab us. Since we don't have a sword, we'll have to find the most convenient routes. Okay, so you go that way, you go that way, which means that our route is up through here and up this way. Oh, it's Kermit. And that map shows that the last thing is over here. Oh, but you've got the rusted key. We can put that in the well. We've just got to find a way across. And this, is one of those deployable bridges. He wants to help. Who's he, Kermit? and the more I play it, the more I realize that it's very much dedicated to the experience of playing games, including, well, the game itself. Like, and what I mean by that, again, I'm having a real hard time talking and playing, is that I am actually losing myself in the game, trying to solve these puzzles. It is, at its heart, an adventure game, a full-on adventure game that you could have released at the time. Which is why it's so jarring when, ever so rarely, my attention is pulled away, and I'm snapped back to reality looking around at my silent, dark room. For example, that effect did not look like something that could have been portrayed by the game itself. What was that? It was like my lamp just landed from the ceiling or something. We're really not going to close that door. And now when we pull away, like, we actually still have that image on the screen reminding us of that level of separation. And when something happens to the kid in his room, I don't think of it as something happening to him. I think of it as something happening to me. That's the weird thing. Like, I forget that I myself am sitting here on a PC in the year 2024. I almost said 2019. I think this game is making me regress in that way. Wait. It's talking about connecting areas, but... Did I leave that drawer open? I think I did. Oh, we hadn't been here. But there's another one of those doors that looks like we can open it with something, but not right now. And another river. Okay, so we're expanding into very new territory. Sometimes it can be kind of hard to see, like, where we're trying to go, like where's open, but that's really on me. Okay, so if we can get to the other side, we can extend a bridge. And maybe make something easier? And I now realize the stained glass actually shows the 4 artifacts we're supposed to be finding. Stickers. Oh, we must get these for completing Easter eggs. That's really cool. The cross, I bet, is for the graveyard ghost. Wait! Whoa, wait, the key isn't... I spent so long looking around, I didn't even notice the rusted key. It appeared in front of me. There are far weirder things happening than... Okay. And it goes to my drawer, where there is a cassette. I was right. Oh my god, we're actually gonna have to use... This is so cool! Oh, I love this! Okay, we're gonna have to use stuff around the room to play the game. I think I was right about the say cheese theory. Maybe it's not implemented in the demo, but we're gonna have to... I already know what to do. Okay. Let's go back down. Disco Man, out of place Disco Man, he says it's quiet here, right? But if we can find him... He sounds like he's listening to music in a funeral home, but I bet if we came over here... Wait, is it still in there? No, it's over here. There he goes. And now we can enter the house and find it disturbingly abandoned with the red key to the other disturbingly abandoned house. You'll just keep dancing your way off screen. Until the tape winds down and doesn't work anymore. It lasted just long enough. And now you won't talk to us anymore, you'll just continue grooving away in silence. Okay, so now we bring that over here. The thing is, like, part of me wants to be annoyed by that, but the other part just sees it for so friggin' brilliant. And honestly, it's part of the experience of old games, running around trying to figure out what you're supposed to do, and then once you do, everything just comes together. That seemed far, far better than something like this should look. I mean, even though it's primitive, that seems just a little bit ahead of where these graphics should be, don't you think? Before I mess with that, I'm gonna look, wasn't there... Yeah, there was something else here, some kind of puzzle box, a code box. But I imagine the solution to that is going to be in-game, unless... No, it wouldn't be that easy. And actually, now I'm realizing it's literally calling it the Limbo 2800. That space between afterlives, and yet they talked before about how games are being used to, I guess, acclimate children to the occult. Maybe this console's whole existence is something nefarious. Whole new area to explore in here. Hello. But we can't do anything with that. Mirrors. Mirrors which actually give us a reflection. Now, the way you would do this on an old console would be that it's, you know, creating a separate instance of yourself. And I guess maybe there would be like a mask where you're moving under the environment and you can be seen through there. But even that might be too much for something like this. Oh god. Okay, there's ghoulies rushing down from above, so we're gonna have to do that Frogger style. Early game is all about mapping. More horrifying portraits on the walls. It's a classic haunted house. Actually, with these statues, is this perhaps a very vague Red Room reference? Maybe I'm reaching there. But it seems like the only way out is going to be through here. Oh, you almost got me right there. Okay, we can hide in the margins. Just, ooh, I am so lucky you didn't get me there. That was just collision shenanigans. And you're being fired from that. Oh, you're actually being aimed at me. Right now, you're trying to get at me, but you can't because the bookshelf is in the way. There's very noticeably goop oozing out of that portrait. Although nothing seems to happen if we stand on it. You don't seem in line with the rest of this game's graphics. Are you supposed to be in some kind of containment cell? That's reflective. Oh my god. No way. I don't know what to do with that information. You're brighter when I back away. A mirror into my room. Wait, maybe then... Maybe if we do something here, it'll cause you to open, cause you to break. Never mind the fact that what I thought was a monster in an enclosure was actually me staring at the screen. The paybackers behold the beholder. Behold the beholder. Shockingly relevant to our current situation. But then what is... Is that supposed to represent something looking at me from the window above? You were making the noise before you landed there. All I can think is that that wolf looks very kittyish. And what about...
Prison.
Oh, it's a speaking spell!
D S A S W D D D D D D S A.
You're working strangely. Oh, okay, by using WASD... I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot! Okay, well, whatever. Let's just backspace all of that.
S.
Wait. 3 guesses, who notes? I gotta get used to using the arrow keys. So, P-R-I.
Correct. Spell demon. D-E-M-O-N. Correct. Spell time.
Speaking spell, you're sounding a little hoarse there. Was it time?
Correct. Spell transcendence.
Wanna run that by me one more time? I can't understand what you're saying.
Something in the closet.
Oh! Thanks for playing. Don't forget to wishlist Tormenture on Steam. Oh, I just had to touch that guy where he was bleeding through the bottom. Wasn't just a visual glitch, that was actually meant to be there. But unlike earlier when the door opened, that did appear to be entirely in-game, and well, just as I'm the most enraptured, don't forget to wishlist Tormenture on Steam. And I will. That was so cool, and it's only now that I remember that this is a demo and not a full game, but I'm certainly interested to see where they go with this because I am very impressed with this hour that I've spent with it. It is just attacking this from all the right angles, making the game itself like actually engaging to play, and not just in the way the game itself presents, but also in the way the experience of playing it is presented to the player. A way that almost makes it feel nostalgic, even if it was a bit before my time. I mean, I was a Sega Genesis kid, and even that made me a bit of a fossil. But I feel like I'm close enough that I can get it, and I wonder what it's like, you know, if you grew up on, like, the 360 or something. It's got a vibe for the game, it's got a vibe for your room, and it's all about mixing and matching where those two intersect. Sometimes it's so seamless, and at other times it's very, very jarring. And I'm sure there's a lot more that can be done with this, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Alright everyone, me from the future here, and in editing, and with the power of retrospect, I have gotten a couple of new ideas for things we can try. I just realized you do actually take damage from the sword, so that's interesting. And if we come down here, yep, after talking to you, then this guy gets the white dot on the end of his arm, presumably. That is the ring, which you now drop, and you're dead. And we can take this with us. Now we can bring this to you. And there we go, that counts as an Easter egg. Now, this may not be easy, but what happens if we do kill this gray man? Oh, he can be staggered, but it doesn't seem like he can actually be killed. Now, the whole game, I was trying to figure out what this thing right here meant by say cheese. Now, of course, my mind was drawn to the camera, but what if that's not what we have to do?
Spell mortality. C-H-E-E-F-E. Incorrect. Spell mortality.
No, I guess that wasn't the case. Oh, wait. There's like a weird square on the ground that I guess could sort of be interpreted as a Polaroid. And if we sit ourselves directly in it... I am so stoked that that worked. That is really creepy, but if you look, we're just represented as a dark shadow. That did something as well? I mean, I'm just kind of looking around for stuff in the room that could sort of correspond to these characters, but I guess that counts. Wait, if we check the sticker book, where even is the sticker book? Yeah, no, that's Doug. What happens if we try the dog on the dog? Doesn't seem to do anything, however, I have just realized. Yeah, it looks like our pixels will actually start petting the dog when we get close. And it was very easy to miss that at first. I just love how the music becomes all like distant and muffled when you step away from the screen, further emphasizing the disconnect between worlds. But I'm getting the impression now that there's a whole lot that I missed that is present just right here in the demo. Probably some way to even deal with this. And another thing that I realized is that if we have a look at the manual, remember, we didn't buy this game, we're renting it from the video store, which means that these notes in the back, these are from other kids who also rented the game. Stop playing. You know, it says that the frog hides something. But what does that mean? Does that mean the rusted key, or does it mean something else? What do you mean by he wants to help? I'm assuming then that just about everyone here has some sort of Easter egg associated with them. You seem pretty steady. I'm tired. Something to do with the bed? I don't know. And with all our toys around the room, like I still haven't figured out how this phone works. There's probably a lot we can do here, right? Well, it doesn't seem to have done anything for you. Honestly, I wish I had more time to experiment with this, because with 34 Easter eggs, presumably not all in the demo, this could honestly be like among the more fascinating aspects of the game. Alright, well, this is kind of an afterthought. I'll get back to the outro. Just to give some more closing thoughts on that, though, I mean, we spend the entire demo up when we're not supposed to be playing this game that we sort of get the impression has something wrong with it. All while these creepy but nevertheless mundane things happen around our room. And finally, a really weird thing happens, where able, through this seemingly impossible set of circumstances to enter this place that we've been trying to get into for the entire time, but you know, being a sleep-deprived young child to whom anything is possible, we just roll with that physical item suddenly appearing in our world, and what is this thing that only exists in the real world? What does that open up for us? This dark, closed-off area that we've been trying to get through the entire time. And what's contained within? Us. An image of us sitting in our own room in impossible graphics. And just when we're sitting there wondering how this could be, it just ends. This feels almost Candle Cove-esque in a way, like the kind of thing this character might recall when they're 40, thinking, that couldn't possibly have happened the way I remember it, could it? But I guess it's meant to make you ask yourself if the same is true for some of the games you played. I think one of the most important things a horror game can do in being scary is to make you feel like you're there, and one of the best ways to do that is to have these multiple levels of interaction. Because when I'm sitting here in this room, like I said, I forget I'm sitting here in real life, and it makes it feel like the things that happen in the room are happening to me. I can't wait to play the full thing, but that'll have to wait until release. Until then, if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, I will link the store page in the description. I don't know how it's going to work with release, but if you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.